Hello, my name is Mikaela Neuvo. I'm an architect from Helsinki, Finland. I work at the A-Konsultit architects, and I was a project architect in the Vantaa courthouse renovation and extension project. The project was project by Senate Properties, and we did it in collaboration with A-Free Arc Studio. In the project, we tested this BIM-based building permit, and it was a part of the Accord EU project. So here I have some visualizations of our courthouse project. So it is a combination of a renovation design and an extension design. So on the right, the blue is the existing courthouse, and on the left, the light structure is the addition we've made to the model. No, not the model, the actual building, of course. And in a way, it's an interesting project because we have both. You have the old and the new, and it's a building information test. It's also interesting that you also have this renovation aspect. We have worked on the project with ArchiCAD, and we have made a model from the old part, from the measurements. So we modeled the old building. It was they did on the base of this point cloud measurements. So the whole old building was already a building information model when we started, or we did that. So that's a good starting point for that. And then we, of course, then added the new part to the building. Here you can see an aerial view of the project, where you can see on the right is the old part, and on the left is a bit smaller extension part. And there's a third visualization from the other side. So you can see on the left, you see the blue building mass is the old part, and the white in the background is the new office part of the project. I will next show you a bit of the IFC model in Solibri. So let's continue with that. So here you can see the building model after an IFC export brought into Solibri. And here it's easy to look at the model and do some self checkups before the actual building permit. After we leave the building permit in. So for the process, it's very important that you have this possibility for the self checkups, because if there's some small errors or some small leakage, you find them and can correct them easily. Otherwise, the process of kind of delivering an unfinished model and then having it returned to you and then doing the process all over again is quite time consuming. So we did in this Accord project, we had this checks we could do with the model, which are a model for the checks for the future, which will be used in this building model process. And we tested the accessibility, the safety, and the fire safety, and the acoustic environment, so that everything was according to the standards. So here you can see our IFC model brought into Solibri, and we use this Solibri to check that, do this checkup for the building permit model. So you can run different checkups in here, and in this Accord project we tested enriching the model with the basic project information. We tested the accessibility of the building, we tested the safety of the building, We tested the acoustic environment of the building. And then if you see, you can run through this checkups here. And if I, for example, take this accessibility checkup, you can see down here, there's a link to the law, to the act which you have to follow in this accessibility, and you can directly go there and check what the requirements actually are. And then it gives you information on what you still have to fix in the model. So it goes through the building permit process. And I think this is very helpful, that you have the possibility to do the checkups in advance by yourself. So you can kind of do the self-check and then permit the model so the process runs smoothly, because otherwise it will be quite slow if you always have it returned to you with some errors. So you have to do this self-checking in advance. And you can see that there is all the information in the model which is needed. So, and we will use the same model, then we will have some more information for the construction phase, for having some different information which will be restricted from the model, but it's basically the same model we're working with. So it's not a separate model, but it's just the same model which has been enriched for this building permit process. So what worked well in the pilot project? To give you a little bit of background information, our architecture office A-Konsultit has been working for 30 years already with BIM models. So we have a kind of a strong history in working with this, with different kind of models. We work with the ArchiCAD, and we do all our project already as a building information model. So the idea was to kind of add more information to or enrich the model. So the testing itself was not that much extra work, since the whole model already existed and we were just adding information to an existing model. We got really clear instructions on how to enrich the model so that the results could be machine readable. And I think we succeeded in testing these features, these building permit features in this Accord project. And I think that was very positive, that we managed to achieve the goal which was set, which was testing the certain features which were given to our courthouse project. And the IFC translators worked well, and the instructions were clear. And I would say we succeeded in the goal. So to the next question, what still needs further development in this BIM-based building permit? As a background information, in Finland, the Building Act will be confirmed soon, that this will be a part of the building permits, probably next year. So we're waiting for that to happen. The process itself at the moment was very slow and created a lot of extra work for the architect. In this Accord project, we had a lot of input put into adding the information to the model. So of course, in the future, the idea would be that there would be a good template, probably maybe a nationwide or something, good information to start from, because at the moment there was quite a big workload in adding all the extra information to the model. It didn't really come automatically, but I think with leaning the process in the future, it will get a lot faster. and more usable or easily accessible. Now it was a bit tricky for us, even though we are a firm which has worked a lot with building information models, and the concept is not new. I think one of the challenges is that, at least in Finland, that all the municipalities should have like this exactly the same principle for the model permit, or otherwise it would make the process harder. So there should be kind of clear rules on how it works in every city. And I think we would need to have very clear step-by-step software-specific instructions so that it's doable for all architecture firms, even if you don't have such a strong building information model base. And I think as much information as possibly should automatically be extracted from the model. So I think that it still needs some development, so we don't have to add information which actually already exists in the model. Because now that was the case, and it was a bit, the workload was quite big with this. And as an office, now that the Building Act is coming in place next year, we are working at our starter template file to accommodate as much as possible the needed information. So the next time we do this building permit, it will be a lot easier. Of course, the instructions have to be very clear, so it doesn't create confusion. But I think a starter template is needed to like lean the process. Otherwise, the workload would be too big. But I think with a good template, you can master it well. And I think this might be a challenge for smaller offices or offices who don't have so much experience with working with building information models. And I think there might be that there's a new kind of consultant group appearing who do this building permission models for smaller offices who don't have the knowledge to do this model themselves. Of course, I think it would be important that the process would be so easy that it would be possible for most architecture firms who use 3D modeling to also do the building permit model themselves. I think that should be the goal, that it's so clear and easy that it's possible for almost everybody. And of course, this building information model, at least in the beginning, it kind of increases a bit the workload. And in the beginning, I think it's very important that the clients also realize this, can take this building information model in consideration when ordering from the architect, so that they recognize that it's a part and the process might be a bit different than it used to be before. So to the benefits of the process of the information model in this building permit, I think the ultimate goal is the reduction of drawings required. And with this, I think it will speed up the permit process. And then if you need less drawings and the building process will be faster, I think this change will be successful. I see that some drawings, such as elevations and sections, could probably be removed from the building permit requirements, since since everything is visible in the model as fire compartments or wall structures. So I think the speeding up the process is the biggest benefit in this in this project. And I think the automation could speed up the process, as I earlier said, and improve the reliability, particularly in checking with safety-related aspects. And it really helps that it's the same on national level everywhere, because now there have been it's been a little different in different municipalities, which has been challenging for the designer. It's easier if you have clear instructions on and the same instructions everywhere. So I think that helps. And I think it will help the designer if it's if you have the template file and then you can run through these checks to actually detect some errors you have in this safety related aspects and maybe give you a bit of more security that everything is in fact correct. At the moment, I think that's still a bit under process, but I think as the ultimate goal, it's a good goal. I think at least in the beginning, it will increase the workload of architects because the modeling requires more precision and you have to have everything correct everywhere. Whereas in the drawings, you have to just have everything in place where you actually have the elevation or the sections. And I think you have to be also very precise in the modeling, because previous you could like some small errors were quite insignificant, but in the model checking they can create big problems. For example, if the slab doesn't go to the wall or you have small leaking in the fire in the model. So if you do this fire compartment checkup, then you will have a problem and you have an error and it doesn't work. So you have to be very precise and follow clear rules.